Waking up early has to be the ultimate hack for a productive day.
And starting with the right breakfast show puts you ahead of everyone else.
Yes, indeed. Absolutely. Good morning to all of you there, and welcome to another beautiful Tuesday edition of the show, Wake Up Nigeria.
New day, same goals. Now, how's the week coming along? It's a good question to ask yourself and ask people around you. So how's it going for you?
Mine's coming on pretty amazing. I mean, I focus on getting small wins every single day and watch those wins compound into a bigger picture. That's what I do.
Okay. Well, hey, a great perspective right there. Small, consistent wins often trump that big one.
Yes,
and a lot of people are always looking for that big money before they do an investment.
Little drops.
Man,
Little drops.
little steps.
Little drops of Mary and Mike also make your day better, by the way. Hey, Mary and Mike.
A problem with too much motivation. No, they know legit. I'm tired. What is it? Hey, small.
You guys,
How you guys doing? How you guys doing?
You guys can't take a segue. You guys can't.
No. Just try something else, man. Just at least just. I know.
It's all I can come up with.
Yeah, but you know, having Mary and Mike in large doses can be, you know.
Very true. Having Mike in large doses is detrimental to your health. Mary, unfiltered as she is, trust me, you want her in slices.
Yes.
Trust me. Believe me.
You know that at some point the cameras go down.
You see, the threats have come out again.
Until then.
In any case, on this day, take control of your mind and focus on anything that matters. That small little thing. My name is Mazino Appeal.
And I'm Titilaya Oyinson. It's always a magical time with these amazing personalities in the studio. And, well, make sure you watch this show live from absolutely anywhere. If you need to move around, just get our mobile app available on Google Play and iOS.
You want to do that. And also use the hashtag WakeUpNigeria across all social media platforms where you should follow us. We are at TVC Connect on Facebook and on Instagram. Now, let's tell them what we got coming for today.
We're starting with parenting. We now have Femi Shofolue, a thoroughbred, passionate youth teacher with more than a decade hands-on experience. He's going to be talking about coping with stress and frustration of parenting. Now, a lot of people try to avoid those two words, stress, frustration, when they talk parenting, but hey, he's on a mission to help the average parent get better. Now on health today, we have one for the gentleman. And we're going to be talking about the effects of smoking and drinking on men's fertility. Yes, we're going to be having Dr. Damien Avar in the building, a.k.a. the Sabi Doctor. He's going to be talking quite a bit today. It's a topic that you guys need to stay for.
And of course, finally joining us on the show is Afro-pop sensation King Solo, who juggles being a pharmacist, believe it or not, and a musician. He dropped his debut EP, King Solo, in 2019 to rave reviews, by the way, after which he dropped Grooveland, his debut album with singles like Kum Kum and All Mine. You guys stick around, you're going to love this one.
You notice?
Yeah, we also have a surprise celebrity guest.
Can't tell you who yet.
Yes.
Okay.
But you might want to guess, if you have a guess as to who that celebrity guest might be, you want to set it up on social media.
Yes,
just
indeed.
tag us at TVC Connect with the hashtag WakeUpNigeria on TVC.
Welcome once again. It is Wake Up Nigeria. Mary, first off, I would like to say that Mary always threatens me every single morning. it gives me cause for concern.
When you are tired of that one,
No,
two of you should go and find your
Let me
wrong
voice it out now.
Find
If I
somewhere
was
and
to be
sort out
threatening
yourself.
Mary like this every morning, it would be
You had a
seen-
few days last Tuesday.
No,
didn't you?
I would never.
Yeah, right.
But you feminists.
Should we play back?
Always bring out that card. He
Who
can't
is the
do that
feminist?
to me.
Oh, so now you're calling me a feminist.
Aren't you?
You want us to guess? Okay,
Define it.
let's leave it for now.
No. I'd like you to define
I wanted
it
to
now.
just quickly touch on this male fertility with smoking and drinking.
Yeah.
I do not recommend smoking and drinking, but the reality is there are some people that, no matter the vices they engage in, it always seems like they escape everything.
There's some people that just like they jump through, they jump over all those hurdles, and they have nothing stopping them from,
telling
you know,
It's God.
being,
How?
Which God? It's just, it's probably just.
How? What do you mean escape?
Okay, so when I
How?
say jump, I mean you do all the vices, smoking, drinking,
And
even
others.
some doing stuff, and then everything is still working well. They go for health checks. It seems all is well every time. And you're like you that you've been probably living a pious life. And then you go for health check. You end up with cholesterol issues. long issues, and you're like...
So the thing is that they would definitely be better off if they were not doing that.
Yeah,
exactly.
So
don't start it in any case.
So
and then again, you could also relate it to, you know, hereditary, you know, traits, really healthy bloodline. So, you know, it could be anything, but we don't have time to talk about that right now.
Welcome for a Tuesday morning. Let's do the news. My name is Mazino Peel. Now, I would like to warn our viewers that the story that you're about to watch contains scenes with disturbing images, and viewers' discretion is highly advised. Now, let's let you know that the Nigeria Army Troop of Sector 2 Joint Task Force Northeast Operation Hadinkai, in conjunction with the Air Task Force, have inflicted heavy casualty on Boko Haram and Islamic State West Africa Province, ISWAP. Terrorists group who were camping around Watek in the general area of Lambom Forest. Acting on credible intelligence, the troops, with close air support from the Nigeria Air Task Force component, swiftly carried out a simultaneous land and air offensive, penetrating deep into Lambon Forest in Borno State. Army spokesman Brigadier General Oyema Nwachukwu stated in a communique earlier yesterday that the troops overran the position of the terrorists with a heavy volume of fire from both land and air, killing over 20 insurgents. The troops also captured heavy fire weapons, or rather recaptured heavy fire weapons and arms, including 3 anti-aircraft guns, 3 AK-47 rifles, and 2 gun trucks, aside from 2 other gun trucks that were destroyed by the troops. General Nwachukwu disclosed that the Chief of Army Staff, Major General Farouk Yahaya, has congratulated the troops for the successful conduct of the operation. And in another development, the Oyo State Police Command has arrested 3 persons for their alleged involvement in the 2 road crisis, which resulted in the killing of 2 persons. Oyo State Commissioner for Police, Ngozi Onadeko, made this known while speaking with journalists in Ibadan. The police commissioner says investigation carried out by the tactical team shows that the paraded suspects were involved in the crisis between the phone vendors and members of the park management system. She said investigations are still ongoing to ensure any other persons or suspects to be involved in the killings is brought to book. One of the suspects, Amoni Element, who spoke with newsmen about the incident, said he was attacked by some phone vendors while carrying out his lawful duty, and he ended up in the hospital as a result of the attack. And away from that, Dubai Emirates Airline says passengers' flights to and from Nigeria, Lagos and Abuja are suspended with effect from today, June 21st. Or rather, that's yesterday. Until further notice. Now, customers traveling to and from Lagos and Abuja will not be accepted for travel, and those who have been to or connecting through Nigeria in the last 14 days will not be permitted to board from any other point to the UAE. Emirates also said that flights from South Africa will remain suspended until July 6th in line with government's directives that restrict the entry of travelers originating from South Africa and into the UAE. Now, daily passenger flights to Johannesburg will operate, but outbound passenger services remain suspended. Now, customers who have been to or connect through South Africa in the last 14 days will not be permitted on any Emirates flight bound for Dubai. The airline had on Saturday announced that it would be resuming flight operations in Nigeria from June 23rd. And the United States Navy has been carrying out full ship shock trials off the country's east coast on a warship, now to ascertain the aircraft carrier's ability to withstand battle conditions. And 18,143 kilogram explosion was detonated against as part of the test. Now, the U.S. Geological Survey registered the explosion as a 3.9 magnitude earthquake. Following the trials, the warship will return to a dry dock to undergo modernization, maintenance, and repairs. Wow, those are very interesting visuals there. And that's it for the news.
Welcome back. It's about time for us to take a quick look at what's happening on the covers of the newspapers this morning. We're going to be starting on the Nigerian Tribune today. We're starting today, Tuesday, 22nd of June, 2021. It says here, Nieti, Nigeria made $400 billion from petroleum sector in 10 years. Pages 5 and 6 have more on that. Court slams 82 billion naira damages against Mobil NNPC over oil spillage. It also says here, federal government approves 18 billion naira for takeoff of varsities in Awka, or rather Akwa Ibom, Jigawa, Osun, Bauchi. PDP must not fall in Anambra, says Secundus here. No section of Nigeria is excluded in my administration, Buhari insists. It also says here, court stalls release of 13-year-old who gave birth in prison. Page 26 has more on that. It also says here, army kills 20 Boko Haram ISWAP terrorists in Benue Forest. And I'll wrap it with this, customs to detain private aircraft that lacked verification papers. And that's what we have on the Nigerian Tribune. We have the Punch with us as well this morning. It says here, bandits, herdsmen, farm occupation, insecurity ground CBN borrowers. Farmers say loan repayment difficult. I was kidnapped for a month, my crop destroyed. I don't know how to pay CBN loan, says farmer. We can't support farmers with uninsured APB loans, says Federal Ministry of Agriculture. Beside the masthead there, it says Buhari has agenda. He's ready to tighten laws on informative flow to achieve it. Veteran journalist Ido says there. Just right at the top there, court orders federal government to pay Bayelsa $951 million over derivation fund. And on the media bill, Buhari reintroducing decree, or rather decree 4, under different guise, says stakeholders. Let's wrap it with this. Federal government calls Emirates bluff. Airline bans Nigerian travelers again. And that's what we have on the cover of the Punch.
Just before Mazino mentions what we want to talk about, I just saw something. Someone said, "No, don't enter." I was like, "What do you mean?" And I just saw, I think you posted it earlier, the new traffic rules.
Oh,
we'll talk about that some other day.
We'll
talk about that some other day.
But talking about what we're talking about today on What's Up and About, a video made rounds yesterday on social media, the social media we have left.
Yeah.
And it was a video of a bank staff at the gates of a notable Nigerian, and the narrator went on to tell exactly why they were there. They were there because this customer had borrowed a huge sum of money, and his narration says that the bank would tank and these people would lose their jobs if they don't do what they were doing. And it made me ask certain questions like, what obligations does a bank have to its customers? And are people, elite, impugned to obligations or contracts and all of that? And was it necessary that an entire bank could do that? What does it say about the credibility of the bank?
Thinking of my future, when, by the grace of God, I'm going to be really big. And all. We know that many rich people, it is bank money that is helping to push their businesses and all. Thinking of that, I can say, that was extreme. But we are talking about livelihood here. These are people who, we all know how the economy is right now. And you're being told you're going to lose your job if you don't bring this in. Camping is not even enough. They are supposed to have started crying, banging the gates.
Was that the best resort?
Let me tell you, I do not have any problem with it. Look, if bankers tell you what they go through, the bank will tell you that, oh, you are obliged in so and so places. Okay, let's give them certain considerations. But they usually give those considerations to the elites. Regular people who borrow are harassed, even way more than that. So seeing that happen to an elite is more like a case of, it should be a wake-up call for every other person who is owing and is ruining banks and ruining people's lives. You know, people have lost their jobs due to you cannot get back loan.
How much could a person have borrowed to have?
Bro, that's the question you should have asked.
To actually bring a bank to its knees to resort to such an action.
That's the question.
And then, but my issue is, why would the bank even consider borrowing out or lending out such an amount of money that it could cripple their company if they don't get it back?
Which they shouldn't have.
Yes. Yeah. So I don't think the bank management should encourage having its staff. Of course, its staff are its internal customers. It has an obligation to its staff as well to respect them and their rights. Their families see them on social media going to someone's gate to beg for their salaries.
Cap in hand.
That is not right. The management should be ashamed of themselves.
See, in this same country that we saw bank managers kneeling down.
Right.
Is it not the same country? We saw bank managers kneeling.
If the person is such a well-to-do person, the management should arrange a meeting with that person.
You think they haven't?
So you think?
Titi,
So you,
I beg,
you really think
I
they've
beg.
not-
As
That
in,
the staff
they've
go and
probably
stand outside
exhausted
the
all
gate.
avenues.
No.
Look, the point is,
Then take it to the legal front.
point is,
Get the lawyers involved.
Court system
it
is on.
shows you like, exactly.
No, they are back. They've been
come
back
on
for
now.
3 weeks now.
But Mike,
I think this is evident of how terrible the system
Yes.
is,
Yes,
or how bad
very.
things have gotten for people to resort to such measures.
Yes.
It's sad.
It's very bad.
Yes.
It's what I mean very bad, like, it's terrible.
So that's why I can't blame the guys, the bankers themselves. I can't blame them.
Yeah,
But
maybe.
the system
I
is
don't
to
know,
be
but if you don't
blamed.
go
If you not go bring this money, forget your job.
I don't know.
Imagine,
I don't
why
know.
would that happen?
Babe.
The bank shouldn't have given
Do you know what goes on in banks?
It leaves a lot. It
I
leaves a
actually
lot
do.
to actually question when it comes to credibility and also brand eventually of that bank. But then again, hey, maybe you have thoughts to share with us. You want to use the hashtag #WakeUpNigeria on TVC. Let's know what you think. We'll be back after the break.
Welcome to the kitchen right here on Wake Up Nigeria. Today we are going to prepare something really interesting. And as usual, we have a chef with us. How are you doing today, Chef Emmanuel?
I'm good, man.
Great to have you in the studio with us. Now, what is for breakfast? What are we having for breakfast? What are you preparing for us?
Chicken escalope.
Chicken escalope. Now, this is something I'm sure you find very interesting. It does seem like, oh, such a simple dish. But you can see all the ingredients on the table right now. And they are currently on your screen as well. Now, let's take a look at the ingredients one after the other.
Here is the egg,
The eggs.
the breadcrumbs,
Okay.
the oil,
Okay.
the cooking cream.
Okay.
Here is the veg for the steamed veg.
Cucumber, carrots,
Marrow
onions,
and green, red pepper.
green pepper, and then I think that's
Lemon.
as well. Garlic.
Yes, this garlic.
No ginger.
It's not-
Okay. All right.
We have mushroom here.
Okay. Mushrooms.
And the boneless chicken.
Chicken breast.
Yes.
Okay. Then
Here's the potato, the Irish
potato.
potato.
Okay.
Then here is the butter, the white pepper,
Okay.
the chicken seasoning,
Okay.
and the oil seasoning, everything seasoning.
Okay.
Then we have the white
Okay,
wine
all
here.
spices are
Yes.
this one. Okay.
White wine.
Okay. White wine. Okay.
Yes. And the flour.
And the flour. Okay, that's breadcrumbs, right?
Yes.
Okay, so, and of course, oil. So what's the process? Run me through the process.
The process, what we are starting with is the potato.
Okay.
Because it takes time.
Okay, so are we going to cut it up, or we're going to boil it, or what are we doing to the potatoes?
First, peel it and boil it
We'll peel it and boil it.
before sauté.
Then we'll saute. So peel, boil, saute, that's what we're doing to the potatoes.
Yes.
After that, what happens? What are we using the cream, the eggs, and the crumbs for?
The crumbs is for the escalope.
Okay.
The breadcrumbs, the egg,
Okay.
and the flour.
Okay, and for the chicken?
Yes.
Okay.
Now, why the mushroom is for the creaming, because we are doing creamy mushroom sauce in white wine.
Okay.
So, and what we are going to use is the mushroom,
Okay.
then a little onions,
Okay.
the cooking cream,
Okay.
and at the same time the white wine.
Okay, so that's a creamy mushroom
Sauce in
sauce
white wine.
in white wine. Okay, so let's just say that we are having like, from what I can see, about 3 different dishes that we're going to make, but everything is going to come together to make one meal. So we have the potatoes on the side. They're going to be boiled and sauteed. And then, of course, we have the chicken that will definitely end up being crunchy because we have flour and breadcrumbs as well. And then, of course, we have the mushrooms. So we're going to make a creamy mushroom sauce in white wine. So basically, those are the ingredients we're making use of this morning for breakfast. So let's get started. What's the first thing you're going to do? Cut up the vegetables?
The potato.
The potatoes, okay. So let's see how you're going to cut them. Are they going to be in cubes or slices? That's your knife here.
Oh,
Yeah.
no. Supposed to be scraper, but since there's no scraper,
Okay.
we can use our knife.
Okay. So let's see you do that. So now most people have different ways of cutting their potatoes. Go ahead. Some people will tell you that they cannot cut without cutting the edges as usual. The ingredients are on your screen again, by the way, for the chicken escalope, which is what we're having for breakfast this morning, okay? And then some people will tell you that, oh, there has to be a certain way, a certain style to their potatoes. And it does seem like Chef Emmanuel has his own style as well.
Once I peel it, the cutting will be in cube.
Okay, the cutting will be in cubes.
Yes.
Okay, so that's what I was asking earlier. So when you see it later, you'll see that we cubed them all up. So are there other ways you can make this? Can I make beef escalope? Can I make shrimp escalope? Or what makes escalope is chicken itself?
Chicken.
Chicken.
What you can make with beef should be either beef skewer.
It should be beef skewer.
If
Okay, but if you're using chicken, that's when it becomes escalope. Ah, okay, okay. All right, then we will continue with all our motions and preparations here because you can see we have a lot to prep here. Instead, we would head over to Mike for parenting.
All right, thank you, Mary. Now it's straight to parenting. We have Femi Shofolue, and he's a thoroughbred, passionate youth teacher with more than a decade hands-on experience. And today we're talking about coping with the frustration and stress of parenting, right?
That's right.
It's great to have you. You are welcome.
Thank you for
So,
having me this
yeah,
morning.
it's a thankless job being a parent. You know, Father's Day just went across, okay, at least just one for us, and the other one's for the mothers and the women. But then, parenting is something that a number of people, maybe, I don't know, if there's a school for parenting, you get to, I think it's one that maybe people get to learn a lot of things along the line as they go. But something we know, it's not an easy job. What are, first of all, let's talk about it. What are the most prevalent or what are the most common frustrations and stress that parents would face when it comes to raising up kids?
Someone also said that having a child makes you a parent. Having two of them turns you to a referee. That is the first frustration a parent, especially when you have more than one, is going to face. And except you are getting paid as a referee, it's not an interesting job.
At all.
All right. Then two, sometimes you set out your life, you know what you want to achieve, you have your goals. Then when a child comes in, especially when it's unplanned, sometimes your plans are toppled. Then you can begin to feel frustrated and you begin to feel stressed as a result of that.
Okay, so how do you deal with this ones now? Like you said, when it's one child, when it's two child, it starts becoming quite an issue. How do you particularly deal with these particular circumstances?
When you have a child or even more than one of the first things you want to do as a parent in order to be able to deal with stress is to give them room to grow and learn. You see, if you allow your children to depend on you all the time, you are going to have a lot of problems because that means they are going to be stressing you out every time. You give them room to make decisions for themselves. You allow them to grow, then you guide them, okay? If they just have to keep coming to you every now and then in order for them to get something sorted out, that is a very tasking way of that can easily weary you.
Giving them room to make decisions for themselves, isn't that should be age dependent? From what age should that start? Because you can't just from the beginning start allowing them to make decisions for themselves.
Actually, I tell you the truth. From the time your child is like one, okay, there is a level of independence you should begin to give them.
Just from one?
From one, yes. Because from that point, their cognitive, order has started forming. They know, they are already learning what is good from what is wrong. From that point, it is good you start learning on how to make them independent of you. They can hop their pants by themselves. When they go to toilet, you can teach them to wash their hand from age 1.5. My own kids have been doing that. So no, they don't need anybody to follow them to the toilet from the time they are like 1.5.
Okay. All right. So and then it comes to an issue where maybe talking about the mothers, I know where a lot of people start dealing with, after giving birth, depression and all of that when it comes to, especially the mothers, added to how that comes in. Is there anything that you can say for parents how to deal with that particular situation?
I'm going to tell any parent in that situation to take advantage of every available opportunities around them. Every support that they can get, they should go for it. If you can afford house help, you can afford a nanny, please get them. This is going to help you a lot in order to deal with stress. You can take advantage of age group, in church or in mosque, wherever you worship. They have this age group thing that they do. Allow your children to go for such meeting, you understand? And when they are out, you can quickly use that to rebuild yourself and refresh. You can take advantage of this. You can even send them on weekend holiday to go and meet grandma and grandpa if their place is safe and you are sure that they can take care of them pending that time that they are going to be out. Use that time to take care of yourself, rejuvenate, rebuild. Then by the time they are back, they won't meet the grumpy, angry, and annoying you when they come back.
How do you make out? Now, this is something I get to ask a number of people. When in our society as it is now, a lot of parents have maybe to run 1 or 2 jobs and all that, trying to make ends meet, and then they don't have so much time to be around the children. So that makes it so that whenever they are around, they try to, whenever the children come up with issues, they're always on that kind of, they're stressed normally from what they are doing, not even from parenting
Not
now.
even from parenting.
Stress from maybe work, from, you know, colleagues and every other thing outside, and they now transfer that aggression into the house. How do you deal with
That is
such
where
a
balance
scenario?
comes in. You don't take your problem of work to your house.
That's easier said than done.
I once met a man who has a tree in front of his house. And he said anytime he's coming from work, he rubs his hand on the tree before he enters. People ask him, why do you always do that? He said he does that to remind himself that every problem, every anger, every annoyance he has received from work today, this is where they hang. So he comes in refreshed. When he's going back in the morning, he said he pick it up from that tree and take it back to office to go and resolve it. So you need to learn how to offload what belongs to your office in your office. Don't bring it home. You understand? And when children need your attention, you need to communicate with them. By the time, for example, you are tired and you came back from work and your child wants you to read with them, and that time you are trying to, you know, none of us want to work forever for somebody. You want to use that little time to build something for yourself in future so that they will not suffer. You need to communicate with them. Let them know the purpose of what you are doing. You think they don't learn. They are actually learning. Even when they cannot speak yet, you can, you know, reach terms with them. You know what, just give me 30 minutes after, and make sure if you agree on that, 30 minutes, stop whatever you are doing, attend to them. All right. So you need to learn to create that
non-verbal
balance.
communication with them as at that particular time. Are there any other pointers that you have with dealing with such stress and frustration?
Yeah, I'm going to say be consistent in your dealing with your children.
Okay.
When you are consistent with them, they learn that you know, they respect you, they respect your opinion, and they learn how to cope with whatever it is you are doing. You understand? So consistency is key. If they know that your yes is your yes and your no is your no, that is going to create a boundary for them that they should not be crossing.
All right, thank you so much for all that you were able to give us in this particular short time that we have. Thank you. All right, that's it. Hope you're able to pick up something. We'll take this time out now, and there's still quite more on the show when we get back.
Welcome back to the kitchen. That is so exciting. You know how growing up you're told, come on, leave that game alone. Yet people are now making a fortune from it. People are now making a career of gaming. They're talking about games. As in our markets. Okay, let's leave that alone. We still have Chef Emmanuel here, and he's making us breakfast, chicken escalope. A lot has happened between the last time you saw us and now. He's been doing a lot of cutting and chopping and dicing and cubing. And right now, he's going to show us what he's done so far. The potatoes are boiling, right?
Yes, the potatoes are boiling.
Okay, so what's the next thing we're doing?
And you can see the veg for the steamed veg is ready.
Okay.
And here is
they are chunky. Is that deliberate?
Yes,
Okay.
so here is our chicken. I've sliced it already, ready for seasoning.
Okay, so we're going to season the chicken now.
Yes,
Okay,
now.
so let's do that. And then, of course, we
So-
still have the cream and the mushroom. We're going to make that as well. So let's
So
get
I'm going
started.
to use my chicken's everything seasoning
Okay,
to season
the chicken.
the chicken.
Okay, so that's chicken seasoning itself.
Yes.
And then the all-purpose as well.
All you need to do is just sprinkle.
Okay. Now, I noticed you don't have salt. Is it deliberate? Does the chicken seasoning make up for salt?
Yes, there's salt.
It does, so you don't need to really worry about salt when you have chicken seasoning, right?
Yes, because if you use salt, it still might be salty.
It might end up being salty. Okay, okay. So we have the chicken seasoning itself and the all-purpose seasoning. That's the one that some call adobe or something like that. So, yeah, adobo rather. So you can always get that. But there are different types of it. So you can just go to the market and ask for all-purpose seasoning. Okay, so that really helps your dish taste-wise. So everything will be seasoned, right?
Yes.
Okay. Now, you would expect that when it's so thin, it's just going to be pan-seared, but this isn't all there is to it. You're actually going to wrap it up in crumbs, right?
Yes, and
Put
flour.
it, and then flour,
And
as
egg.
well as egg.
This
So
is
we're
just
going to
the
have it
first
crunchy.
process. This is just the first process.
Yeah. But we're not going to do that now, by the way. We're not going to do that now. What we're actually going to do is just to season it so that we can have it develop a taste. Okay? The frying will be done much later on the show. Okay. So this is the white pepper.
Yes.
Okay. So you already put some in.
I haven't. Just
There you go. There you go. Yeah. Okay. So From this, we move to the mushrooms. Now, how are we going to make the mushrooms?
First, you chop you slice them.
Okay, let's see you slice that.
Okay.
Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is to slice the mushrooms.
Yes.
Okay? So we're slicing it up. Okay? You know how chefs make it look super easy until you decide to pick the same items in your kitchen and it becomes the 8th wonder of the world. But it's all good. So I had mushroom sauce over the weekend and I was thinking to myself, there are actually so many things you can use to make your sauce or your meals, but we limit ourselves to just chicken, fish, and meat. When there are so many options, tasty options as a matter of fact. If only you could try or if you could explore, goes a long way. So now when this has been cut up, what happens next? Should I bring the pan here?
All right.
Okay. So the potatoes are the ones on the side here boiling, just in case you're wondering what's happening there.
After slicing it, all you need to do is just chop small.
Okay. So you still chop it again?
Yes.
Okay. So for those of us without very good knife skills like you, can't we just do the cutting and the chopping once and for all?
No, it's not everything that you
You
chop.
would have to chop. Okay, so it's just some of it you chop.
Yes.
Aha. Okay. Okay. So what happens
I
next?
think it's fine like this.
Okay. So what are we going to do? Garlic?
Yes.
Okay. So after the garlic,
The onions.
the onions. Okay. So the garlic and the onions are actually going into the sauce.
Yes.
So the pan is ready. What's the first thing that goes in? The cream?
The butter.
Or the butter.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, our block butter.
Okay. So how much butter goes in?
Just a tablespoon.
A tablespoon. Okay. So this is a tablespoon. So I assume this is about it, or a little more. Do we take a little more?
I think it's okay like that.
It should be okay like this. Okay. So we're going to put a tablespoon of oil. Then when the oil, the butter rather, when the butter is melted, you put in the onion and
The garlic.
the garlic.
Yes.
And then when those are ready, we put in the cream, right?
No, the mushroom.
The mushroom. So the mushrooms go in. So we are kind of like pan-searing the mushrooms before the cream. Okay, well, let's get on with this process. We've come to the end of the first hour. We still have the second hour to go, 45 minutes. Make sure you stay with us. It's Wake Up Nigeria.
Now you already know it's always a great outing with the best team on Breakfast TV in Nigeria.
Yes, indeed.
Every single hour comes with a unique vibe, and you'd have to level up to catch up with us.
Yes, you do.
Welcome to the second round of the top-tier family entertainment show, Wake Up Nigeria.
Yes, indeed. We still have so much waiting for you guys. It's in store for the next 45 minutes. And trust our chef to make the morning more beautiful with this beautiful scenting and aroma all over the place. And, of course, Mary doing nothing
I'm not
in the
even
kitchen.
noticing anything else but the food. The food looks good.
Yeah, it
Mushrooms
does.
cooking, everything, the aroma and all. Believe me, you want to see what the results will be at the end of the show.
We can't wait.
Now remember, if you feel like you're going to miss anything, don't worry. Once you understand that you can use the hashtag Wake Up Nigeria on TVC across all social media to be a part of the show, you will be able to catch up.
Yes, indeed. And now, hey, let's already tell you guys that you can watch us absolutely from anywhere in the world if you download our mobile app. And that will be on Google Play Store and on iOS. Anywhere you might be, anywhere whatsoever. Even you, Tukbe.
You need to make sure you're following us, though, at TVC Connect. Of course, that's on Facebook and on Instagram.
Yes.
And there's still quite a lot to come. And on health, we're going to be discussing the effects of smoking and drinking on male fertility. We have Dr. Damien Avar, a.k.a. Sabi Doctor, a medical practitioner, social entrepreneur, and health business consultant. He's also the founder of Doctors Hub Nigeria, a digital-based simplified platform to access medical consultation. It's going to be an interesting conversation.
And then, of course, finally joining us on the show is Afro-pop sensation King Solo, who juggles being a pharmacist and a musician. He dropped his debut EP, King Solo, in 2019 to rave reviews, of course. And, of course, I hear that he has this very, very jamming tune called Kum Kum, which we might be hearing, or maybe just All Mine, or maybe a new one. Stick around, you'll find.
Oh, goodness me. When the discussions start on the couch here, sometimes we get lost in it, and we have to catch ourselves.
You want to talk about Bum Bum?
What?
If it's not Bum Bum, we'll talk about
He
T-Pain
said
and Auto-Tune.
come.
She's
What has
Come
that
Come.
got to do with
Yeah, Come Come and Bum Bum is, you know, see,
Oh, my
I can
word.
bring my Come Come into your Bum Bum. It's
Whoa!
So T-Pain, Auto-Tune, we're talking about music.
Okay, you know what? Let me just tell you guys what's happening today.
Okay.
Today is World Rainforest Day.
Thank you
So
for
maybe
saving
that's
us.
why Mike wants to make it rain. Today
Nice.
is also
Nice.
Onion Rings Day. Onion rings.
Yeah.
This thing will be following you on social media and you'll be telling us.
Today is Be Kinder Day. Today is Positive Media Day. Chocolate Eclair Day.
Ooh, I like that
so
one.
Let me
think I
jump
like
on
that
one of those. Positive Media Day. I want to celebrate that one because I think there's too much bad news going around.
Yeah.
And with the season of reality TV, I think there's a bit too much vitriol that's being spat at people.
Yes.
You guys know what I mean with the, I think yesterday's episode from the Big Brother
Brother
show and
reunion,
everything. And
yeah.
everybody's like, now you begin to see fan bases coming and going against each other. Please
Yeah.
stop. Today is a happy day for
Yeah.
positive media. Let's respect that, okay?
Yeah.
The positive media, like, you know, when you find a young person doing great things, celebrate that person on
Yeah.
your page. You know, that kind of stuff.
So I like the concept of positive media. I think we need more of it.
Yeah.
But media in its most quintessential state is neutral.
Well,
Right? But I understand, but you guys know, positive media is good. It's good to
Positive
celebrate good
media.
stuff.
And you're welcome. The second hour now for Wake Up Nigeria. We always begin with the news. My name is Mazino Appeal. Now, I would like to warn that the story that you're about to watch contains scenes with disturbing images, and viewers' discretion is highly advised. Now, let's let you know that the Nigeria Army troops of Sector 2 Joint Task Force Northeast Operation Hadinkai, in conjunction with the Air Task Force, have inflicted heavy casualty on Boko Haram and Islamic State West Africa Province terrorist groups who were camping around Watek in the general area of Lambon Forest. Acting on credible intelligence, the troops, with close air support from the Nigeria Air Task Force components, swiftly carried out a simultaneous land and air offensive, penetrating deep into Lambon Forest in Borno State. Army spokesman Brigadier General Onyema Nwachukwu stated in a communique earlier yesterday that the troops overran the position of the terrorists with a heavy volume of fire from both land and air, killing over 20 insurgents. The troops also captured heavy fire weapons and arms, including 3 anti-aircraft guns, 3 AK-47 rifles, and 2 gun trucks, aside from 2 other gun trucks that were destroyed by the air troops. General Nwachukwu disclosed that the Chief of Army Staff, Major General Farouk Yahaya, has congratulated the troops for the successful conduct of the operation. And in another development, the Oyo State Police Command has arrested 3 persons for their alleged involvement in the 2 road crisis, which resulted in the killing of 2 persons. Oyo State Commissioner of Police Ngozi Onadeko made this known while speaking with journalists in Ibadan. The police commissioner says investigations carried out by a tactical team shows that the paraded suspects were involved in the crisis between the phone vendors and members of the park management system. She said investigations are still ongoing to ensure any other person suspected to be involved in the killing is brought to book. One of the suspects, Omoni Elemo, who spoke with newsmen about the incident, said he was attacked by some phone vendors while carrying out his lawful duties, and he ended up in the hospital as a result of the attack. Now, away from that, Dubai's Emirates Airline says passengers' flights to and from Lagos, Nigeria, Abuja are suspended with effect from yesterday, June 21st, until further notice. Customers traveling to and from Lagos and Abuja will not be accepted for travel, and those who have been to or connected through Nigeria in the last 14 days will not be permitted to board from any other point to the UAE. Emirates also said that flights from South Africa will remain suspended until July 6, in line with government directives that restrict the entry of travelers originating from South Africa into UAE. Daily passenger flights to Johannesburg will operate, but outbound passenger service remains suspended. Customers who have been or connected through South Africa in the last 14 days will not be permitted on any Emirates flight bound to or for Dubai. The airline had on Saturday announced that it would be resuming flight operations in Nigeria from June 23rd. And the United States Navy has been carrying out full ship shock trials off the country's east coast on a warship to ascertain the aircraft carrier's ability to withstand battle conditions. An 18,143 kilogram explosion was detonated as part of the test. The U.S. Geological Survey registered the explosion as a 3.9 magnitude earthquake. Following the trials, the warship will return to a dry dock to undergo modernization, maintenance, and repairs. And that's it for the news. You're welcome back. All right, people. Now, today, this segment, health. On health, we will be discussing the effects of smoking and drinking on male fertility with Dr. Damien Avar, a.k.a. Sabi Doctor. Believe me, that's what he's called. Now, he's a medical practitioner, social entrepreneur, and a health business consultant. He's also the founder of Doctors Hub Nigeria, a digital-based, simplified platform to access medical consultation for Nigerians. You are welcome, Dr. Damien.
Thank you.
Good to have you here.
Pleasure.
Now, today's topic is something that I'm sure most men who have lived their lives really want to get into. We're talking about certain practices that men or even women have and how it affects fertility. Yeah. To be specific, smoking. Now, I know that once you talk about smoking, mostly you're talking about how it affects the lungs.
Yes.
But then again, to now think, would it affect any other part of the human body or functions is a question I've never really thought about. Now, would it?
Absolutely. Okay. I mean, beyond the respiratory health, it can also affect the heart. Oh. Okay. It can affect, other parts of the body, the bowel. It can affect the bladder. It can affect the kidneys. It can affect the pancreas. Okay. There is no part of the body that is, an exception, that is bad. Okay. But with reference to fertility, because this is where most people don't really understand how, tobacco use can affect fertility. There are studies out there that have established a link between tobacco use and, depressed or reduced fertility in men. Not just men now, even women are also affected. Okay, so the effect is not something to be doubted. Yeah. The anti-fertility effect of smoking, men.
How exactly does it affect? Does it? I know the very rudimentary terms like low sperm count, or does it affect them in an anatomical way? Which is it?
Okay, so the way it works is twofold. You have the aspect where smoking affects. When I say smoking, primarily I'm referring to tobacco use. Affect the male sexual function. By extension, we're talking about erectile dysfunction. So that can lead to erectile dysfunction, which is not necessarily fertility related, more of sexual performance. Yeah. So that can cause that. All right. Then you now have the aspect where it affects fertility. Okay. So there are over 4,000 active pharmacological constituents in cigarettes or tobacco. All right, part of it is nicotine, which is the addictive, aspect of component of it. Yeah. You have tar, you have polycyclic hydrocarbons, you have, some
and all
other
those
heavy,
are adverse to the human body.
Yeah. So the way it works is nicotine, for example, which is a chief component of tobacco, can cause injuries to blood vessels. All right. When this happens, some level of narrowing takes place. So you have a case where the blood vessels begin to narrow such that, blood flow gets interrupted. And, I mean, anybody who understands erection knows that
is all about the flow of blood into it.
And beyond the fact that the narrowing happens and reduces blood flow, it also interrupts the, what we call the how will I put it?
Use a lighter word because we wouldn't know that one.
So what happens is, blood gets taken to the penis during erection when the man is aroused. The veins which empty blood out of it after an erection has brought, it's been brought to an end, the valves of the veins, they get shut.
Well, so are you saying that one could be stuck with an erection for
Absolutely.
longer than necessary?
We call it priapism.
Oh, wow.
All right. So what happens?
That can't be fun.
Not fun at all. It's not fun.
Yeah, after it can't be fun.
It can cause permanent loss of penile function.
Wow.
Anyway, what happens there is one of the ways tobacco, or cigarette smoking can affect erectile dysfunction, or can affect male sexual function, is the fact that, the valves, it can disrupt that closure of valves and make it impossible for a man to sustain an erection.
You keep harping on tobacco, but tobacco is not the only recreative substance that people engage in when it comes to inhaling substances that are legal.
Yeah.
People also turn to shisha, if that's what it's called, I think, shisha. And from what I hear, sometimes these are even much more harmful. So is it the same with shisha as well?
Okay. So shisha is an interesting one. Shisha is also a form of tobacco. However, the concentration of this toxic constituent of tobacco in shisha is unbelievable. People
You mean
don't
it's
really,
higher?
it's higher.
Oh my goodness.
For example, what's they call it now? The nicotine component in shisha, all right? Shisha has 70% more nicotine than cigarette.
So why is it thought of as an alternative? Why do people turn to it thinking that it's healthier?
So I think that primarily was due to the fact that, people in the media, entertainers now, they kind of made it look cool. So it was easier, it was easier for people to really adopt. And, the manufacturers just keyed into it, projected the impression that this thing is not really harmful, but it is really harmful. Let me say this. Studies have shown that an hour long of smoking shisha is equivalent to smoking between 100 to 200 cigarettes.
Whoa, now that is a lot.
Found out that.
Yeah, but then there is another one. People also turn to vaping as well.
Yeah.
And that is harmful?
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, wow. So there's nothing one could do there.
Nothing, including weed. Okay, weed. In terms of fertility, the reports are controversial. Okay, some reports say they are negative.
We're talking about cannabis now.
Yeah, cannabis. Some reports say, it takes out negative effect on fertility, while other reports are saying, not really. It actually even boosts the sperm count. Okay. So there is no consensus report on the fertility effect of weed as of now.
So whatever it is, shisha, weed, cigarettes, the effects, are they curable? I know if it's the lungs, it will regenerate. The lungs have the fastest healing capacity of the body. But what about aspects of the body that concern?
No, that's the good thing with tobacco. Immediately you stop or you discontinue it. Within 2 to 3 weeks, 2 to 9 weeks after cessation, you start seeing improvement, and even in sexual function. Blood perfusion of blood to the, to the genitals.
Dr. Damien, it is quite revealing to have you on this segment here today, and we'd like to thank you very much. We'd like to have you in more, and I bet you we're going to have a lot of clicks and views on this one when it gets on social media. Absolutely. So if you're out there and you've just heard this and you want to hear it again, maybe you should jump on our YouTube page because we're going to have that one up. Thank you very much once again, Dr. Damien. Do stay tuned because we have much more coming on for Wake Up Nigeria, even if it's the final quarter. We'll be right back.
Finally joined on the show by Afro-pop sensation King Solo. Now he juggles being a pharmacist and a musician.
Definitely, of course. Grooveland was his debut album with singles like Kom Kom and All Mine. Now we're here to talk to him about what he's been up to.
Yeah.
How you doing?
I'm good.
Okay,
Thank you.
so that's Kom Kom was the first one that got to us and all of that. Let's talk about that particular. That was in your debut album, right?
Yeah.
Let's talk about that album and that song in particular. What's the process like putting it all together? What inspired that particular single?
Okay, so you see, Kom Kom is a song that we made at the peak of our album making process, right? So we had like the majority of the albums of the songs on the album, they were ready, but we felt like we still needed that extra spark you know. So we actively went for the extra spark,
Okay.
and that's how Kom Kom came.
All right.
So the whole idea behind the song was, you know, we're trying to encapsulate that feeling of being under a love spell. Yeah, so that's the whole idea. So the idea of being put in Kom Kom is the idea of being under a spell. Yeah.
What are your thoughts on love, generally?
On love. I believe in love. Yeah.
In what ways?
Well, I believe that love is a beautiful thing that everybody should experience. Yeah.
So when it comes to love and music, you know, which one is more important to you?
I feel like music is an expression of love. You know, it's a language that everybody understands, just like love. You get me?
Yeah.
So, and also music, in music we sing about love a lot. A lot of our songs are about love. So I feel like both of them are intertwined.
You've had to balance out being a pharmacist and being, you know, a musician.
Yeah.
So which one do you love more?
You can't love, you know, I see that these two things now have become equal parts of who I am.
Okay.
So I don't see myself loving either one more. Yeah.
Are you still practicing as a pharmacist?
Yeah,
and all
yeah.
of that? How does that play out? Who's a pharmacist?
Well,
what does he or she do?
A pharmacist is someone who takes care of the drugs that go into your system. Yeah.
So are you the one that the one that ensures that it's the right drugs, or you're the ones that ensure that the right prescription is what you get from maybe what came and all of that? You know, because people tend to miss those lines like, okay, pharmacist, is he just a chemist or what? You know, people tend to blur those lines.
Yeah. So
that's why I just wanted to explain.
there's something we call pharmaceutical care.
Okay.
So it encapsulates reading the prescription, filling the drugs, and ensuring that you take them in the right way, and also following up after you've taken these drugs. Right. So that's the role of a pharmacist.
That's the whole process.
Yeah.
All
so
right.
we ensure that you're fine. So a pharmacist ensures that the drugs that go into your system do the right things that it's supposed to do. Yeah.
So I have to think about your family now, and you know, your home front and where you came from. So when you told them that, you know what, I want to do music with being a pharmacist, it must make your family really, really proud.
Yeah, well, you know, in the African setting, there was some pushback. You know, my parents were like, yo, why do you want to do this? Why don't you just go to your office and work? And I'm like, you know, music is it's a passion, it's a spirit. If I told myself right now that I don't want to make music anymore, I want to just focus on pharmacy, I wouldn't be at peace. Because I have these songs that they are screaming inside me, so I need to let them out.
So it doesn't matter if you make money from them or not.
It matters. I need the money too. I mean, everybody likes
so I know, true. But now, if you didn't, if it was a case whereby money was not going to come from music, would you still do it?
Yeah. I wake up, I make songs. Like on my way here, I wrote like 2 songs, like 2 hooks.
Wow.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Wow.
Yeah.
I kept them. So when I get back in the studio now, I'm going to work on them.
All right.
Yeah.
I think it's amazing. And I think the quality of your music videos also so far, like we just saw one now. Talk to us about your thought process with videos.
Okay, so with videos, I have like a team, like my friends. So we just brainstorm. So whenever we have a song, we always just reason some outlandish ideas, some really, really crazy ideas on what the video should be like.
Okay.
So, and then when we have all these ideas out, then we put them together and then we hash out the most feasible one. And then we take that one to the director and say, okay, how can you give us this? What can you do for us? So that's usually how we make videos. We always, most of the time, we come up with the ideas ourselves. Yeah.
There's a song titled Grace, I believe.
Yeah.
You want to talk to us a bit about that?
Oh yeah, Grace is a song that it's a spiritual song. You know, it's a song about the grace of God in our lives. That's a song that it was on my previous tape.
Okay.
Yeah, and when we made that video, we were trying to show peace and love amongst everybody, from the old, the young. So if you check that video, there were some kids, there were some older people, and you know, that was the concept of grace in that video.
Okay.
The grace that passes from the young to the old.
Amazing.
Yeah.
What's your own idea of spirituality, as per se, or religion? What does it mean to you, spirituality?
I feel like we can't exist without it. Yeah, that's what I believe. I believe that in as much as we exist in the physical, we are immensely spiritual beings. And anybody that tries to deny that is denying himself or herself.
I'm wondering where your influences are. Who are they? The artists that positively influence you and your music.
Okay, we'll start from the Godfather fella himself.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Then we have Oliver the Coke. We have Wizkid, because Wizkid is like everybody's daddy, you know, in my generation at least. We have Davido. We have Burna Boy. So I see them like three gods.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Then I've been inspired by Drake, Kendrick Lamar.
Amazing.
You know.
So when you talk about Fela, a lot more people are inspired by maybe the other parts of his lifestyle. I remember when Sheon was saying something about how his activism is what a lot of people have not really, you know, they pick Fela, they pick the music, they pick the lifestyle. But that thing that he stood for, that thing that made him who he is, because, you know, he's still larger than life now, is something that a number of artists have not really, you know, picked on all of that the activism part, the part that says, look, I'm there for the common man and all of that. You know, people, it's the other parts of Fela that they are.
Yeah, yeah. You see, Fela agitated for a better Nigeria. That was his goal, that was his cause. And he pushed it with ginger, you know. So what I have learned from that is that whatever thing you're pushing, push it with serious ginger.
Okay.
You know?
So that's how...
The things that I believe in, people that know me know that I go hard for them.
All right.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
And we'll definitely be checking that out online, on your pages, of course, online. And we're going to be seeing your video, Grace, right now. And you'll be in the kitchen by the time we come back.
All right.
Welcome to the kitchen, man.
Yes, we've got King Solo here. Chef Emmanuel is today's chef, and he's made breakfast. Now, breakfast is...
Chicken escalope and potato, creamy mushroom.
Please dig in. Please dig in.
While you're digging in, let me use this opportunity to ask one small question. Your collaboration with Buju.
Yeah.
That was, first of all, I love Buju because I think he's like a small sensation now that everybody's kind of... Fantastic choice, man. Let me just say that.
Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you so much. I mean, we have a working collaboration. We have a lot of songs together. We make a lot of music together.
Yeah. We need you to try this. So I found out just this morning, I don't know how come I didn't figure it out, that you are the one half of Maz and Bazini.
Yeah.
I was actually surprised because I know back then we used to play a lot of Maz and Bazini on radio. So it's quite interesting that you guys have gone solo. I didn't know that you had.
Yeah, it's musical growth. You know, we grew apart in our musical careers.
Okay. So everybody, but Bazini is still using Bazini, but you switched from Maz to King Solo.
Yeah, I mean, I felt myself becoming someone different.
Okay.
So I realized that musically I wasn't Maz anymore.
Okay.
I was King Solo.
Okay. All right. So what's your opinion? I know you took a bite.
Yeah, tastes
you
good.
like it?
Tastes beautiful. Tastes
you should
fantastic.
try the chicken as well.
There's a knife under there.
There's a knife there.
I don't eat meat.
Yo, are you serious? You're vegetarian?
No, not like right now. I'm not eating right now.
Okay.
Oh, okay. You're going through a phase.
That's
I'm
fantastic.
going
I'll
to
have
an
it.
phase,
It's okay. Thank you very much.
Nice. Interesting. Interesting. Okay, so that's about it. Thank you so much, Chef Emmanuel.
Thank you, Chef
Thanks
Emmanuel.
to everyone who has been a part of the show today. Thanks to all our contributors. Thanks to Mazino, who is about to grab a plate. Thanks
And
to
run.
Titi and Mike. Hi, guys.
Yeah, just to be a birthday shout out to Sheikh Z. Sheikh Neon, happy birthday, man.
All right, so okay, so with that, it's a wrap. Catch you tomorrow, Wonder Women Wednesday. You don't want to miss that. Have a great day. Bye-bye.